Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to 31 Days of Pomp-o-Ween. If you're new here and you don't know what Pomp-o-Ween is, then welcome. My name is Pompberry, and October is my favorite month out of the year, except for February, because that's when my birthday is. But I love it so much because of Halloween. And so I like to celebrate all month long, and I do that by releasing one Halloween tutorial a day during the month of October. And I've dubbed it Pomp-o-Ween just because I thought it was cute. I don't know. So I hope you enjoyed today's video, and if you want to check out the other videos that I've done for Pomp-o-Ween so far, you can check them out by clicking here on this playlist. Today I'm going to be doing a character that a lot of you probably don't know, and that's so unfortunate, but you might have seen his face around somewhere, and that is Dream from the Sandman comic books. He is Dream, but he is always referred to as the Sandman. He goes by both names, and the comic book is obviously named after him. And it's a comic book written by one of my all-time favorite authors, Neil Gaiman. I think the most popular character from the series is Death, so you might have seen her around. Death was actually my first cosplay ever. I've also cosplayed as Delirium, and I've always wanted to do Dream, but I was never able to because I didn't have the black sclera contacts. Now I finally have them, and so I'm finally able to do this character. I was sent the lenses by Pinky Paradise for me to try out, and I've got to say I've tried wearing them a few times and they are really uncomfortable. So today I'm going to do the full look and then wait to try to put them in at the very end, and the keyword here is try because I don't always succeed and sometimes I do, and I can only stand to wear them for like a minute at a time. And even though a lot of you don't know this character, I still wanted to do it because it's something that I've wanted to do for such a long time. I styled the wig for it and everything, and if you want to see how I styled the wig, you can check it out on my Patreon. I have a full tutorial on that. I've always thought about doing all the endless characters from the Sandman comic book, and I might do that one day. I thought about doing it for Halloween, but I don't think I'm gonna get around to it this Halloween. But if that's something you want to see, please let me know down below, or if there's any other comic book characters you'd like to see, let me know. So I'm just gonna jump straight into it, but before I begin, please don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. Your support means the world to me, especially during Pomp-o-Ween, so I thank you so very much for sticking around and watching my videos. So I'm going to start off with skin, and he has stark white skin. And to do that, I'm going to be using two different kinds of face paint. I'll be using Clown White Light for the face and water activated face paint for my body. Now I'm going to be wearing like a little black jacket, and so I'm only going to be showing like a little bit of my chest area, so I'm not going to worry about painting my shoulders or anything like that. I'm just going to be painting my neck and a little bit of my chest. I'm filming this in July right now, and it is really hot, so my skin is a little bit dry, and so I'm gonna go in with the Laura Sanchez Martini Prep Primer just so I can moisturize my skin a little bit. I just washed and moisturized my face, but this just gives another little moisture boost, which is really good when working with cream products on your face. And I'm going to start off by painting my neck and getting that out of the way. And I'm going in with the Wolf water activated face paint in the color white. And I just dropped some water in here, and I'm taking a really dense brush, and I'm just going to start applying that all over my neck and a little bit of my chest area. And the way I work with this product is you can see I'm going back and forth in the same area kind of until it dries, and I find that that allows me to have a more even application. It won't look as streaky, so while it's drying I like to still keep working it in. And white is very tricky. Be careful if you do layer it. When I do layer it, I tend to kind of stamp the brush rather than swipe it because it kind of lifts up the product that's underneath. I like to wait for each layer to dry before I try to layer it. Ooh, and I don't seem to have enough water on my brush, and it's making it a lot harder to apply. So you have to find the right balance of water to product ratio. It can be very tricky, but with time, you'll get used to it. And the reason I'm using two different products, I'm using the water activated one on my body and not on my face, is because one, the water activated face paint is a lot trickier to get it super even and smooth, it turns out a lot patchier than the cream one. And I save it for the body because when it dries, it's completely transfer proof, or almost completely transfer proof, as long as there's no humidity whatsoever. If you sweat, if you get it wet, then that's it. It will come off, but as long as it's dry, it's going to be pretty much transfer proof. So that's why I like to use it on the body, because you're more likely to be coming into contact with other things, be it your clothing, be it if you're hugging someone, or, you know, so on and so forth. I'm actually going to switch over to a different brush. I didn't really like that first brush I used, and I'm just going to use that to apply another layer over everything. And the application totally depends on the brush too, the type of brush that you use. So it's worth experimenting with different ones that you have and seeing what results you like best. I'm also going to be painting my ears as well, and this is a pretty important detail. Don't forget to paint your ears whenever you're changing your skin color, because even if your wig covers them up, sometimes they peek through, you never know, and it will just look jarring if you have, say, like green skin and then skin colored ears. And another reason I like using the water activated face paint is because it's easy to remove when I'm done, so I don't want something that's super hard to remove out of my ears. All right, and then I'm just doing the edges of my face, kind of under my chin. Now I can move on to the other product. And for that, I'm going to be using a damp beauty blender, and then I'm just going straight in to the Mehron Clown White Light. And it's very important that it's the light version, not the regular Clown White. The traditional Clown White is very sticky and very thick. I hate it, honestly. This is the Clown White Light. It has a much different consistency. It is much easier to work with. So this is my preferred white cream paint when I'm using a white cream base. You can see how smoothly that applies with the Beauty Blender. And I find that the Beauty Blender gives the most even application, or this type of sponge anyway. If you have another brand you prefer, then feel free to use that. And I'm just applying that pretty much evenly all over my face. But I'm trying not to get too thick of a layer, because I do want to highlight some areas, and you can only do that if it isn't fully opaque on the entire face. Be sure to get all the nooks and crannies. Stretch out your face if you need to by making weird faces so that you can reach every single little corner. Now I've got a pretty even layer all over my face, but I do want to highlight, as I said, so I'm going to take some more and concentrate it on the highest points of my face, and you'll see that will make a pretty big difference. So I really want to accentuate the cheekbones. He has amazing cheekbones. So I really want to concentrate it right there, and you can already see from the get-go that really makes a difference. I also want to accentuate the brow bone, just pretty much anywhere where you would highlight. So I want to do the chin. But because I am transforming myself into a male character, I am going to really want to accentuate my jawline, where normally I wouldn't necessarily highlight right here. Cupid's bow a little bit, down the center of my nose, center of my forehead. And then I also want to highlight right here under the mouth. This is a characteristic that happens in a lot of people, but it is traditionally viewed as a more masculine feature. So I'm going to highlight right here to really accentuate that. And it's just here and here. And you'll really see it once I get to contouring. That's just going to help out a little bit for now. You can also highlight any areas of the body that you really want to accentuate. Now, I wouldn't recommend applying cream all over your body, but certain areas, I do want to try to give myself an Adam's apple, so I'm really going to highlight right here, the sides of my neck as well. And you can see that definitely helps to even things out a bit too. Now, I don't normally do cream contouring, but sometimes I like to dabble in it. So today I'm going to use the Makeup Forever Flash palette. I'm going to take a little bit of the black and just mix it in with some of the Clown White Light just on the back of my hand so I can get a gray. And I'm going to use that on the low points of my face, so to define my cheekbones a little bit. And I'm really going high with this contour because I really want to accentuate the cheekbones. I'm doing it on the other side of my sponge, so if I mess up a little bit, I can go back in with the white side and help to blend that out. And then, because as I said, I'm going for a more traditionally masculine face, I'm taking the contour and then bringing it down towards my chin. And that will really help to slim my face and also give it a more traditionally masculine appearance. I also did this in my Jareth video. If you haven't watched that yet, you can check it out here. I transformed myself into David Bowie. It's pretty cool, if I do say so myself. I'm also going to take that around my forehead. And you can see that this is just very light contouring. This is just going to give me a base for me to work off of. I am going to intensify it with powder in a little bit, but I just don't want my skin to peek through the parts that have less white on them. So that's why I'm doing a little bit of cream contour, because it will add opacity to those areas, but it won't lighten them. And I'm also going to take that under my bottom lip. I'm gonna try to go around that area that I highlighted before, kind of doing like a W under my bottom lip. Then since we're here and since I still have a lot on the back of my hand, I'm just going to contour my neck as well. And I'm just gonna contour like a little Adam's apple situation here. And I'm also gonna contour my collarbone because he is quite slim and he has a very kind of protruding bone structure. So I want to make sure that I'm contouring all my bones. Then I'm gonna just take whatever's left just onto my eyes. And then I'm going to set everything with translucent powder. And I have my powder in this little contraption so that it blows out the powder without disturbing the makeup that's underneath. This was not created for powder specifically. This is made for fake hair, like when you're covering up bald spots and such. But a lot of artists in the special effects industry use this to powder certain things, especially like prosthetics. But I just like to keep mine for when I'm doing body paintings like this, where I don't want anything to move once it's on my face. I don't want to risk moving the product around. Then once that's done, I just take a big old fluffy brush, dip it into some powder, and then just make sure that everything is really set in place. Whenever using cream products, you have to set them. Otherwise, they will move, they will crease, they will break down with the oils from your skin. And I'm gonna powder all the cream on my body as well. Water activated face paint does not need to be powdered unless you lay it on too thick, and then it can look a little shiny, and then you can powder it if you want, but generally you don't have to powder it. Then before I powder my eyes, I just want to make sure there's no creasing. Next up, I'm going to intensify all that contouring, and you can use a gray eyeshadow for this. I'm going to be using the Lunatic Cosmetics Contour Palette Volume 2. It's got some great grays in here, and I'm going to start off with the lightest one and then work my way to this medium one and just go over everywhere that I contoured with the cream before, and I'm going to pat the color on first and then kind of blend it out. You can see this really helps to intensify the contour. So you don't have to go super dark. You can see I'm using this really light gray to do it, but when compared to the white and the rest of the face, it looks pretty dark. As I said, he's really skinny, so I'm really going to intensify the contour right here. This is going to make my face look really skinny and kind of sunken in. And I'm also just going to lightly bring that kind of into my smile line and then continue it down to my chin. Then I'm going to take that on my forehead as well and really contour the sides of my temple because I really want to get that almost skull-like effect. You'll see when I deepen the contour a bit more. Then I'm also going to contour my neck and collarbone area. It's important to contour both over and under the collarbone to really make it pop. I'm also gonna do my nose. I'm gonna contour my nose kind of differently. I'm going to make it seem more bony, so I'm going to create a bone right here on the bridge. And I'm going to make it really pointy too. And now, since I've got this little brush, I'm going to take this darker gray and I'm going to do some more detailed contouring. So I'm really going to concentrate that right here, creating this kind of upside down L shape. You can see that that will really make my face look really skinny. I'm just concentrating it here in this area, bringing it also a little bit over here to really pop out those cheekbones. You can see what difference that makes. I also really want my chin to be kind of pointy, so I'm almost contouring it like a V on my chin. Then I'll contour around my jaw just to kind of define it a little bit better so that it looks like I have a sharper jaw. Then I'm going to take a fluffy eyeshadow brush that's slightly flattened so that I can have a more controlled application, and I'm going to contour under my bottom lip. I'm going to concentrate that right here, close to the lip, and then this contour here on my cheeks, I'm going to connect it with that under the mouth contour. And this is just going to make this little area here look more pronounced. And this is a characteristic that a lot of men have, a lot of women have it too, but it is viewed as a kind of traditionally masculine facial feature to have this little thing. I don't know the term for it. If you already have this, then I'd say accentuate it for an even more dramatic look. Then I'm also going to take that darker color and start intensifying my neck contour, and I'm also going to define the little Adam's apple that I created, and also going to contour collarbone. I also want to contour basically the sides of my neck. And it'll just make it seem like I'm really skinny, like the skin is directly on top of my bones, if you know what I mean. Dream is very much like that. He's kind of skin and bones. So whatever you can do to make it look like the skin is just kind of stretched on the muscles and the bone, you know what I mean? So just anything that you would see like a slight little shadow normally, really bring it out, really accentuate it. And then I'm gonna take that darker color and really contour right here like you would with a skull. I'm really trying to make my bone kind of stand out. As I said, the skin is just kind of stretched on the bone. There's almost no fat there to fill in the gaps. Also taking that darker color and just intensifying the forehead contour a little bit. Now for the nose contour, I'm going to take a pencil brush and that darker gray, and I'm going to start defining the shape. So I'm going to kind of go outwards here and then inwards. I'm not contouring a straight line. Kind of want to create an illusion of a bony nose. Then I'm going out again towards the tip. So I'm going to contour right here on the sides of the tip. I'm just going to intensify that a little bit and then blend it outwards. And I'm also going to contour around my nostril to really kind of emphasize it. I'm going to bring that towards the front. Oh, I'm also going to bring the bridge kind of upwards, extending it close to my eyebrow. So my bridge starts naturally here, but I'm making it seem like it starts way up here, and that'll make the nose seem way longer than it is. Then I'm also going to take that pencil brush and really help to intensify and define this contour here, just being more precise with the application. Then a little bit on the Adam's apple as well. And now for highlighting, this is really going to help accentuate the contours even more. I'm going to take the Cosette eyeshadow in the color Zen. It's just a matte white eyeshadow, but it is really pigmented. And I'm taking that on a dense fluffy brush. I'm going to start highlighting the high points of my face. And I'm really just packing on that color wherever I want it to be the most intense, the brightest. And you'll see that it just helps a little bit. It also helps to make everything look a little bit more uniform. I'm going to take a smaller brush so I can do this area right here. And my Cupid's bow above my eyebrow as well to really kind of accentuate this contour right here. I'm also going to highlight right here, kind of where my smile line would be on the inside of that. Then I'm also going to take that on my nose. And I really do want to accentuate like this bony part. So I'm just going to contour that till it is really crisp and defined. And I think I am going to take whatever's left on that pencil brush and give myself slight smile lines. I take a bit of the light gray to just help out a little bit. This will just make me seem older a little bit. And I'm also going to do that under my eyes. I'm going to give myself kind of dark circles. I'm also going to darken this area a lot. I'm going to take the Strobe Cosmetics Creepy Cute palette. It's got a really nice, really intense gray in here called Tombstone. I'm going to take that and just, whoa, it looks really dark. And I'm going to place that on my crease first. I just really want to make my eye seem kind of sunken in. I'm going to take that into that nose contour and then just blend it outwards. Also going to take it under my eye. Starting to look almost like a Tim Burton character. I'm really intensifying this outer corner. but making sure there's like no harsh lines. Everything's really well blended out. Use the bigger fluffy brush if you need to. I think I'm also going to accentuate my 11s here, kind of giving him a bit of a scowl. There's a lot of product on here, so I'm just going to blend that out. I'm going to take the white and fix that up a little bit. Just want it to be very, very slight. Then I'm going to take some more Tombstone on the pencil brush and really pack it on close to my eye. I'm going to do almost like a halo eye effect because I still want some volume on my lid. I want you to still be able to see my lid, but I do want to darken up around it pretty well. You can see by leaving that little kind of blank space right in the middle of the lid, just gives a little bit more volume to the eye. I'm also going to intensify the crease right here, or rather the eye socket, just slightly above my own. I want it to seem like the eye is really, really sunken in. So I'm just really intensifying that eye socket, but my real socket is down here, so I'm doing it above my socket so that you can see it when I have my eyes open. Now I'm also going to take the pencil brush and extend the outer corners of my lips. Just want these corners to be a little bit wider than my own. I'm also making them seem a little downturned. Then I am also going to contour my Cupid's bow just to add a little bit of volume in there because the white can make everything seem just really flat. So this just helps to add a little bit more volume to the face, a little bit more definition, shading around the Cupid's bow too. I might darken the eyes a little bit more, but first I'm going to do the eyebrows. I'm going to take some black mascara. If you have black brow mascara, feel free to use that. I'm just going to use straight up normal mascara. This is the Milani Highly Rated mascara. I've been using this in my day-to-day, and it isn't clumpy. That's why I decided to use this. And I'm just going to coat my brows. And I'm doing this because I have bleached brows, so you can't see where my little hairs are. If you already have dark brows, you might not need to do this. It's good to spike them up though. I want to make them seem really, really bushy. So this is a good way of doing that. And now I'm just going to take the NYX Jet Black gel liner on my favorite little eyebrow brush. This is the Essence Precise Liner brush. And I just want to draw little hair-like strokes. I want to make this eyebrow seem really realistic. And I don't want it to seem too made up, because I don't think he would groom his brows. I think he has a more natural, wild brow situation going on. So I just want to make it seem like I've got naturally big and bushy brows. This gel liner isn't working like super, super how I want it to, so I'm going to take the NYX Epic Ink Liner. This is a liquid liner, and I'm just going to draw little hair-like strokes. There we go. I'm just drawing like little strokes above and below my own brow because my brow is pretty thin. I will take some of that gel liner again just to create softer strokes that aren't so dark and so harsh. And if you overdo it, you can take some white eyeshadow and then just go over it a little bit to shape that brow a little bit better. Make it a little thinner if you want to. Now that I've got my bushy brows going on, I'm going to move ahead to the lips. I'm going to take the Clown White Light and just apply it kind of all over as my base. Don't have to be too precise about this. And then I'm going to take the NYX Liquid Suede Lipstick in the color Stone Fox. This is just a really dark gray, and I'm going to mix that in with whatever's left on my brush. And I'm going to line my lips. And I want to make my mouth seem wider and thinner. So he's got pretty thin lips, a pretty wide mouth. I'm gonna fill that in slightly. I'm really extending the outer corner and darkening it up with the lipstick. Then for the bottom lip, I'm going to outline it with the gray a little bit, not completely. I'm not gonna meet the outline in the center. And then I'm kind of gonna fill in the middle. I'm just gonna extend those outer corners a bit more. And I'm highlighting right beside the outer corners. I'm also gonna intensify the contour right under the bottom lip. Then I'm gonna set the lips with some white eyeshadow to give it a little bit more opacity and to make sure that nothing kind of budges. I'm gonna do the same with the gray powder wherever its darkest. That also helps to soften the outline. I'm also going to darken the very center of the bottom lip. Just gives a little bit of volume. I'm almost done. Now I'm going to take the Creepy Cute palette again, and I'm going to take the color Void. It's the matte black, and I'm going to apply that real close to my lash line. Right under my bottom lash line and right on my top lash line too. I'm just going to quickly deepen that socket with the black, and I just want to make sure everything is like 100% ready to go before I put my contacts in. I'm going to take the white eyeshadow and just highlight the inner corner. And I'm also going to take the black and darken the lips and under the bottom lip and the nose. So now I'm gonna go put on my wig and then see if I want to adjust anything else once I have the wig on, because it is jet black hair, so maybe I'll want to intensify some of the contouring or something like that. Okay, so this wig is pretty crazy. It is super, super teased out. As I said, I have a tutorial on how I styled it up on my Patreon. So if you want to check that out, it's patreon.com/pompberry. I have a lot of behind the scenes and how-to videos up on there, especially now during Halloween season. So now I can get a better feel of what the character is going to look like in the end, and I can see if I want to adjust anything. I think I might want to intensify my cheekbone contour a tiny bit in this area right here. Might intensify my chin as well. Okay, I think that's it. If you don't have the sclera contacts, you can create an illusion by painting the black eyes on your lids and then just closing your eyes for pictures, and it'll look like you have the black sclera contacts. But today I do have the contacts, and so I'm going to go put them in, or try to anyway. But please, when dealing with colored contacts or contacts of any kind, be sure to check in first with your optometrist. Please be safe when using them. Don't be reckless. I actually, years and years ago, I gave myself an ulcer in my left eye because of an old contact that I used. So now I try to be super, super safe with whatever I put in my eyes. And I feel like these sclera contacts are pushing it a little bit, but because I'm only going to be wearing them for like 5 minutes so I can take the photos and that's it, I'm not that worried. But still, please be cautious. Don't be reckless with your eyes. Don't buy back alley colored contacts. Please do not do that. If you want colored contacts, you will have to invest. Usually they're not that expensive. You can get them for like $25 a pair sometimes, but be sure you're getting good quality lenses. I feel like I need bigger shoulders. I'm like tiny, like my shoulders are tiny. I feel like I need shoulder pads or something. Let me see if I can find something. Okay, that's much better. I got a blazer that belongs to my husband and it has shoulder pads, so I feel like it fills in the frame a bit more. The hair made my shoulders look really tiny, so yeah, this just adds to the illusion. All right, now I'm gonna go try and put in the contacts. This is the finished look. These contacts actually are prescription, so I can see through them, but they are not comfortable, like at all. It took me several days of training to get them in and to be able to like stand them in my eyes. But yeah, these are really awesome contacts, and I wish that I could wear them like all the time, but unfortunately they're just too uncomfortable for me. But I had to give this one a go. I had to give SANDMAN a go. Okay, so I've been wearing them for a little while now, and it is getting easier. It still is quite uncomfortable, but I was able to take pictures with them. I was able to film some little TikToks with them. If you don't know, I do have a TikTok, and I've been doing a lot of Halloween content for my TikTok, so go check it out. It's also pompberry. I'm actually really happy with this look. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. Even if you don't know the character, I still think it's a really cool look, and hopefully you also learned some handy tips on makeup application. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much to all my patrons who support me, and don't forget to tune in tomorrow for another Halloween tutorial. I'll see you then. Bye. I never paint my hands, so whenever I say bye, it looks wrong, but it's fine.